Sometimes the markets is like your ex. They promise you stability, makes you think that everything is going well and fine, but out of nowhere, they snap, they turn on you, and you're left completely in shambles. But don't worry though, unlike your ex, in the markets, there are generally signs that tells you when things are going to turn around. So in this video, I'm going to show you 3 main signs that tells you a reversal is about to happen. So make sure to hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, turn on the notification bell, and let's get right into it. Alright, so in this video, we're going to be covering 3 main topics. The first one being the value of understanding reversal. The second one being the 3 main signs that tells you a reversal is about to happen. And the third one being using reversal for your entries and exits. So there's actually a lot of value in understanding a reversal because reversal can sometimes be misread as a pullback. Time and time again, I've seen traders getting in on what they think is a pullback, but as soon as they get in, the entire thing just starts to reversing completely on them, right? That's one scenario. Another scenario would be, let's say they are in on a trade, a profitable trade, things are going well, it's going up, and then they see a slight little dip coming in, and in their mind, they're thinking, well, it's just a pullback, right? Then before they know it, the pullback starts to reverse, and then the entire thing just comes crashing down on them. All of the profits they have made, poof, it's gone now. Then the other more important part about understanding reversal is for your entries. Because for the most part, traders are always obsessed with timing, trying to time the market to find the best and sweetest spot to get in and then seeing their trade moving into profit. Now, by understanding reversal, you are able to time the market perfectly so that whenever you get in, it just instantly launches. There's zero drawdown or maybe 10-20% drawdown, but after that, it goes into profit very, very quickly. And if you are able to master reversal, this will be something you are able to do over and over again. All right, so I want to show you on the charts the 3 main signs that tells you when the market is going to reverse. So let's head on to the charts and let me show you what we have. All right, so the first sign that we generally look for is the momentum. Okay, this is a very, very big topic in urban forex, and we actually use a technique called the rubber band man. I know it sounds funny, but let me show you what this actually is. So you're probably wondering, what does a rubber band man has to do with understanding the momentum? But I want you to think of this, all right? Let's say we have a person, okay, and then this person is running, right? But he has a rubber band attached to him, okay? And he's trying to run, okay? Now, pretend that this person is a candlestick moving on the charts. So as the person first initially ran, he was able to go far, okay? Then the rubber band pulled him back a little bit, and then he's taking a little bit of rest. And then after taking some rest, some Gatorade, whatever it is, he continued the run, okay? Now, as he continues to run, right, as he gets slightly tired, what you can see is the move here is just ever so slightly smaller than this move, the total travel distance. And because he's tired, he's taking longer time to rest. So the rest time for him is a lot further than this move, okay? And let's say, after taking the short break, he continues to run again, but this time the move that goes up is even shorter, right? Obviously, because he has a rubber band tied to him, he's trying to run as far as he can, but this is just how far he can run up to, right? So from there, perhaps he takes another rest. Now he's taking a full 100% rest than where he began from. This is the first sign that tells you the market is about to reverse. We are essentially reading the swings of the market and understanding how much pullback the market is doing with each swing, and with each new swing to the upper side or lower side, how further the breach was, okay? So if we look at an actual example, what I have here is the gold spot market, right? We are in an overall uptrend. I want you to focus on understanding the rubber band man here, okay? So let's say he began from here, right? Things were moving fine. Look at the rest that he's taking. It's not really going down, right? He's just taking a short break. It's not even a big rest. It's just a very quick short break. Look at the next move going up, all right? Yes, it's weaker than this prior move up, but let's have a look at how far he's resting. Not really resting far, not really resting a lot either, right? Immediately after that, we have another move going up. Now, at this stage, he does look like he's stronger than before. So there is absolutely no sign that the rubber band man is finished, right? He's still doing a very, very good run. Now, let's look at the next move. Next move going up. This is where things is getting a lot more interesting. Because now, look at this swing towards the upper side and look at this swing towards the upper side. It's getting a lot smaller, right? And the higher highs compared to how far this move was able to make and this move, it's much smaller now, right? Okay, so using the same analogy, the rubber band man, let's look at the rest that he's taking. Now, a full rest all the way towards where he started. That is essentially the first sign that tells you, things may not look so good now, right? But it doesn't mean it's gonna reverse, okay? Because this is first sign. We have 3 signs. Now let's look at the next move towards the upper side. He goes all the way up here. Again, just very slight higher highs. You wanna see how far it went this time, right? It's very, very minor high compared to this one right here. And when he does rest, look how far he went. Again, the rubber band man is resting a lot here. Let's look at the next run. And this part here is crucial because when he does run again, he's not making any more higher highs. This is telling you the momentum is dying, the rubber band man is taking a full rest or he doesn't want to run anymore. So that's sign number 1, that your trend could be reversing. Now, the second sign where the trend would reverse. And that is when a trend slowly transitions into a channel or a range, okay? Again, the keyword here is slowly. So what you see here is a strong trending market, right? We clearly see that with the rubber band man, correct? And then all of a sudden, things start to channel. We can see that here, okay? If I just simply draw a channel, it will look like this. Initially, the momentum was very fast towards the upper side, and then all of a sudden, we go sideways, slightly sideways. Once we see that, look at what happens next. Things starts to go really sideways. We're not really making any higher highs. We're stalling at the lows. The highest we can get up to is just about the same high as before. So that's sign number 2, where things are really reversing. And if we look further here, things are really telling you it's not going to go anymore, okay? Every time we reach the high, things starts to turn around. And I also want you to take note of how it went up. Initially from this price all the way towards the high, how many candles it took to reach that high? Let's just say 15 candles here. And from this same price again to this same high, how many candles did that take? Well, approximately 5,000 candles, right? So you also want to take into account how long does it take to reach the same point as opposed to before, okay? So combining sign 1 and sign 2, that's increasing the probability that things are well on its way to turn around. Now, the nail on the coffin is this last third sign, and that is volume, okay? So let me just pull up the volume indicator here. Okay, so now I have the volume pulled up here. I want you to first understand what volume is. Volume, it's essentially telling you what's the transaction that's going on in the market. Although we're not in the stock market here, things are decentralized, but it's the closest we can get to a centralized market to understand the activity. All right, so when we look at volume, volume just basically means how active the current market or the current move is. And if we are in an uptrend and if there is activity, you would assume things are going to go up. However, if we are in an uptrend, we see volume, aka activity, but if things are not going up, where else could it go if not up? Sideways or preparing to go down? Those are the things you want to consider. So when we put sign number 3 together with sign number 1 and 2, it gives you a higher chance of predicting if the trend is gonna reverse. So with what we have just described, where the momentum is dying out based on the rubber band man concept, the trend has changed from an uptrend into a channel and then slowly into a range, and volume. Okay, if we pinpoint exactly where all the volume is, let me just get a vertical line here. We can see every time these volume bars come in, we're not really going anywhere despite being in an uptrend. Okay, you would assume that in an uptrend, you want to see something like this. When there is a volume, things would resume to the upper side because we're in an uptrend. But in this uptrend, halfway through, even with volume, things are not really going anywhere. They're just stalling sideways. Stalling here, where's the next high volume? Stalling here, really not going anywhere. And at this stage right here, we see volume looking like it's coming to the downside. So that's really a sign that tells you things are not looking great for this uptrend. Okay, and if we move slightly further to the left, we will see that we have a big rejection to the downside and things are looking like it's going down further. Okay, so if you combine those three signs together, you would have a very high probability of predicting a reversal. Now, we do talk about all of these concepts like the rubber band man, the volume technique, all inside Urban Forex courses. So if you are interested in, diving deep into this concept, I do suggest you checking those courses out. Link in the description if you want to check them out. Now, I want to show you how you can apply this to your trade, either for the entries or for the exits. And for that, I want to show you an example on Bitcoin. So let's jump onto Bitcoin. Now let's look at this example from November last year. We have a breach to the upper side here and there's a pullback coming in. Now, you want to use reversal for entries on a pullback. That's the best way of using it. And we have been using that in Forex for a full decade now, generating consistent profits. Look at this downtrend on the lower time frame to time the reversal, okay? So first and foremost, I'm gonna mark out my S&R, which would be around about these areas here. Now, let's drop down to the 60-minute. Some of you guys may use the 240 for the lower time frame. I'm just jumping to the 60-minute. I wanna show you a little bit more detail. Okay, so from the top here, we can clearly see where the sellers started to move. Okay, if we use the rubber band man analogy here, we see a very, very strong move to the downside. Slight little pullback, right? The guy's resting a little bit. A move to the downside again. Now this time, the move is very, very small. Okay, and we are coming down into the level. Now, from there, very, very aggressive break. Or, he's taking a full break as though he's giving up, right? But that's not the end yet. Remember, we need to see he try again and not making any more resolution. Now, did we make any resolution? No, we didn't really break the low, but look at how strong the rubber band man is still. So that's still not a sign that tells you things may be turning around, okay? Next move, takes a little bit of break and then resumes. Okay, cool. So the strength is finally coming back in for the sell side. We're still not looking for a buy, right? We're still watching how and what the rubber band man is gonna do. Now, he takes another break, this time as he goes lower, barely any new lows. In fact, there's no lower low here. Okay, things are starting to turn around here. Let's see the break that he's taking. Full break. Now things are getting a little bit more interesting, right? Not even full break, right? The break that he's taking is more than how far he ran further. Okay, and then we see another move down, this time again, not really making much of a resolution towards the downside. And what else do we see here? We see that things are slowly starting to channel. So we have the momentum slowing down, right? Each resolution or each low the rubber band man was able to make becomes smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller, right? And what else do we have? We have a strong trending market turning into a channeling market, right? One last thing, focus and look at the volume. Volume is telling you it's high, but we're not really breaking new lows here. Not really, we're just spiking the lows. High, not really going down. High, again, not really going down. If we're not going down, where else could we go? Using market states here, using the momentum here, things are looking like it will turn around. Now, for the entries, the last final straw here that you want to see is a breach out of this market state. Okay, that's what we call a full V formation. Again, that's something from the courses at Urban Forex. And what do we have here? We have a break to the upper side. And this time, this break has volume, okay? And it is going in line with the trend that we are looking to go for. After that break, anything you do here, right? It doesn't matter how you get in, but as long as you wait for that break, after that break, focusing on the entry, going for the longs here, going for the buys here, would set you up for a very, very high probability trade because all the signs are there that tells you this downtrend is done. It's reversing, okay? And from there, just see what happens next. I'm gonna play this forward so we can watch this together. Volume coming in, and there we go, making new higher highs. All right, so now a way to use this technique for exiting. Now again, I'm using the Bitcoin chart here just for you investors out there. Okay, personally, I have skin in the game as well, so it's very interesting to look at this and how it's moving. Now, let's take a look at the move that started from back in September 2024. Things were looking good, right? Every time we see the rubber band man still going strong, despite deep pullback, every time he continues to run, it still travel further. We can see the move here going fairly strong, okay, weakening a little bit, strong still, very, very short break from the rubber band man, still looking decent, and then things really started to pick up right here. Okay, so we don't really need to look at this anymore. All we need to focus on is how far and how fast he's able to go and how much the break he is taking, right? So as we go up, stall sideways, not a big deal at all. Continue to make higher highs. Okay, so the guy is still running very fast, very far, right? Not as far as before, which is something we need to take into account, but let's look at what happens next. Now, this time, the break that he's taking is much more than what we have here, because here he was just doing a sideways price action movement, but here now things are really pulling back. Okay, what's next? Do we see a continuation of his run? He did go, but things are looking very slow and choppy. We can see that, we're not really breaking new highs here, chopping up and down, right? Now here, again, taking a much deeper rest, going up, no higher highs, and down. Again, going up, one last run, and then turning around once again. And if I just very quickly draw my lines here, it does look like the uptrend has turned into a channel, okay? So two signs is showing up. First sign is the rubber band man is slowing down, momentum is dying. Second sign here is the market state has changed. What about the third sign? Before going into the third sign, if we just track forward here, we are able to see we're not making any more higher highs. This is almost a mirror image of what we saw in gold earlier. Okay, and what's the last piece here? What's the nail in the coffin here? Volume, right? Do we see high volume without any type of resolution? Now, volume is relative here because we're comparing this volume here, but if I move slowly to the left here, you are able to see this, okay? If I really zoom in, we can see the volume was slowing down, but here it got higher, okay? Despite getting higher, nothing really is happening. Here again, it got higher, nothing really is happening, okay? So all three signs are there. Things are looking like it's turning around, especially with the volume showing no signs of resuming the trend. The last final piece that tells you things are going into shit is when you have a breach. The one we talked about for the entry earlier on Bitcoin. So do we have that here? Let's track forward. Yes, we do, right here. If you're looking at something like this and thinking, no worries, the trend is going to resume easily. No, it's not, right? It's going to take time to resume. The chances of resumption is still there, but the chances of reversal is a lot higher. As we look at the live dates here, we're still hovering below this huge range. So let's see in the next few months where this is going to go. I suspect it's gonna be challenging to make a new high anytime soon. However, if you're looking at something like this, but as an intraday trader, not really looking at it as an investor like what we are doing right now, let's just pretend that you are looking at this on the 60-minute time frame or the 5-minute
15 minutes, whatever it is. As you see things start to turn around here, the few things that you can do, as you see the 3 signs showing up, the few things you want to do is start to remove as much position from your profits. Okay, ideally somewhere around 50 to 75%, or just remove the whole thing. Okay, because the chances of reversal is very high. When you see the break to the downside like this, and you see price holding below here, if you're not already out, you should be. Okay, those are one of the few simple techniques we use at Urban Forex to manage our trade. And it has saved our lives countless of times in the market.
So as you can see, spotting reversal is not like rocket science. You just need to have the right perspective and know what you're exactly looking for. With that said, I hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure to hit the like button if you haven't already, subscribe if you haven't already, turn on the notification bell if you haven't already. I look forward to seeing how you will be able to use these techniques in your trading for both entries and for exits. And who knows, maybe some of you guys may be using this in your relationship. So once again, I hope you liked the video. And for now, this is it, and I'll see you on the next one. Cheers, bye for now.